walk today starts at the once busy pilchard fishing port Porthallow. We proceed north along the coast to Nare Head, which juts out into Falmouth Bay, protecting the Helford River and Gillan Creek from southerly storm. The walk now turns west along the coast until we enter the stunningly beautiful Gillan Creek and the cool shady headland with views across the water to the church of St Anthony in Manor. Walking past idyllic coves and through riverside woodland to the head of the creek offers more stunning views as we enter Carn. A lane out of the valley allows us to investigate an old Iron Age fogou in the Manor of Roscoe before climbing into the ancient Barrow that offers 360-degree views across the Lizard. From this high point we descend into the wooded glen and follow a stream that winds back to the beach at Porthallow.
Dith da, as they say in my part of the world, and welcome to Porthallow. This was an old mackerel fishing village. It's on the east coast, to the sheltered side of the Lizard Peninsula. Now the Lizard's got an interesting geological history. The area to the south of us was uplifted from the sea and it pushed the land to the north of us into gentle waves, and that's the area we're walking in today. So geologically it's a distinctive boundary. So let's have a look around Porthallow before we start our walk.
Porthallow was once a thriving pilchard fishing village. The interior of the Five Pilchards public house bears close testament to the heydays of the village. You can see the pilchard cellars and net lofts clustered by the inn, a witness to changing times. A notice proclaims that this is the halfway point of the southwest coast path. The poem on one side tells the history of Prala, the local name for Porthallow, and of the hewer on the cliff shouting, "Heaver, heaver," to forewarn the fishermen to put out their boats. Cottages are now holiday homes, and only a few boats put out for crab, lobster and for line fishing. We start our journey by climbing the steps to the right of the cottages onto the cliff path. Looking back you can see the quarry on the headland, mined for roadstone. The 40,000 cubic metres of quarry waste turned the once sandy beach to the grey pebbles you see today.
This looks like the first stile on our walk. Got these steps, and let's find out what's on the other side. In spring and summer, this wildflower meadow is a riot of colour, with butterflies flitting from stem to stem, hunted by dragonflies. And here we have the Coast Guard observation point on Nare Head, which was originally used for testing torpedoes. And there's the estuary of the Helford across the other side, heading towards St Morgan Church. You can just about see in the distance, quite away from the village itself. Nare Head was what was called a Q site during the war. It was equipped with trays of oil that could be set alight and cans of water above that could be splashed on it to represent bombs being dropped. There was a railway line, of course, just the other side, just out of sight from here, with lights on. Various doors that appeared to open, shedding lights. Very poor blitz control, but it was useful in that it protected Falmouth from some bombs. Bombs were dropped on the site at the end of the war, and in December 1941, during a raid, bombs were dropped in the water we can see, Helford, and into poor old Mornan Smith, which suffered 5 houses damaged, but no casualties. The Coast Guard lookout station. There's Pendennis Castle, Falmouth Promenade. There's a boat coming out from the Helford River. There's Mornan Church. There's a yacht just passing the cave at the entrance to the Helford River, St Creek. That's Dennis Head, which had a Civil War battery on it. And there's the entrance to Gillan Creek. A pretty little cove. There's the Coast Guard hut on the tip of Nare Point. Sweeping right across the Dobman Point. St Anthony's Head. Inflatable coming into the cove. And a lovely old ash tree, suffering from dieback as so many are these days. And there across the mouth of the Helford you can clearly see Mornan Church now, tucked in its old ring fort. And there's the cave.
We've now arrived at the hamlet of Gillan and the homes of the wealthy yachting set. The rocking promontory is called the Hera, which protects the beach below. We have wondrous views across Gillan Beach and up the Gillan Creek. We have now arrived at Gillan Creek. There's a little blue doored boathouse. You can cross the beach and there's a set of steps going up the other side. Opposite we can see St Anthony and Manor's church. I have a walk that takes us around this beautiful little village if you'd like to check the back catalogue. Climb up the steps and past little cottages. Then we see this little shrine. I know nothing about this shrine, I can't find anything else about it, so if you do know anything about it, would you drop us a comment? Continue along the coast path and eventually we come to this brand new sign. The path straight on takes us to the little passenger ferry across the creek, but our path takes us away from the coast and up through the gate you can see here. Walk up through the up the steep hill and then turn around and take a look at the beautiful view below you. They've kindly put a bench for you to sit down and just absorb it all. Path then leads into a little lane past some houses. Carry on up the hill and eventually the road goes to the left and the path carries straight on. And then we come to this gateway. They're clearly doing some woodland renovation work. And there's that lovely old tree. I'll head up the hill and then we'll go through the hedge at the top. The path then takes us through Tegithy Wood, which was opened by the National Trust in 2022, I think. It doesn't appear on some of the maps, so just follow my advice, just follow the path, keep the creek to your right, and you'll enjoy the lovely little wooded walk. The path eventually takes you out into the head of Gillan Creek, in a place called Carn. What an idyllic spot. Leaving Carn, there's a new National Trust path off just after the cottage. It takes you up a steep slope, takes you up above the valley, and there's Menachem Church in the distance. Having proceeded up the lane, you come to two gates. Take the uppermost gate, proceed through the first field, keeping the hedge to your right, and then into the next field, follow the hedge around until you come to an opening where you can double back on yourself and look round Boden Veen fogou. Now, a fogou is an underground chamber within an Iron Age building complex, and we don't know what they're about, but it's well worth a look at this interesting excavations they've done. They've also found a Bronze Age house on the site and what may be a Roman signal station. Past Roskrug Manor House, then proceed up the lane, up a very steep hill. Get to the lane at the top, turn left, and within about 50 yards you'll see a trig point. Climb through the gate there, climb onto the top of Roskrug Barrow for fantastic 360-degree views around the countryside. Then proceed along the lane heading east. In the spring, the flowers were out, the butterflies were buzzing, and there was a golden ringed dragonfly, our longest dragonfly in the UK. Take the left turning down to Jaglossic Farm. Path is signposted on the right hand side, leads you down to Porthallow Valley. We've now arrived back to our start point and hopefully our cars. I hope you've enjoyed our little walk. If you found this video useful, then I would appreciate it if you could like, and if you want to see more videos like this, then please subscribe.